Long a perennial favorite in the midsize truck segment, the recently restyled 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck model range is available in both hybrid and non-hybrid versions, and both versions offer improved off-road capability, refined road manners, and some new features that make the 2025 Toyota Tacoma models really stand out from the crowded midsize truck segment. Nonetheless, the new Toyota Tacomas are not perfect, and there are some downsides to the 2025 Tacomas that you need to know about to make an informed buying decision. Stay with us and watch this video until the end as we reveal the 2025 Toyota Tacoma, the truck's biggest pros and cons exposed. The 2025 Toyota Tacoma has many positive aspects, so let's examine its pros to see what you can expect when you invest in a new one. Number 5. 2 drivetrain options. Available in 6-gallon only models and 5 hybrid trim levels, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck model range offers a model or trim level to suit all budgets and preferences. For instance, the turbocharged 4-cylinder gasoline engine comes in 2 versions. The 4-cylinder in the base non-hybrid version that develops 228 horsepower, while the higher trim levels get a more mighty I-Force version of the same engine that generates 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Most models in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck range are also available with 4-wheel drive. It is worth pointing out that the hybrid versions, which are restricted to the higher trim levels, deliver a combined 326 horsepower and a massive 465 pound-feet of torque. More good news is that the gasoline-only versions come with a 6-speed manual transmission, while the hybrid versions come equipped with 8-speed automatic transmissions. In both versions, the gear ratios are carefully chosen and optimized to ensure smooth and consistent power delivery while towing or hauling heavy loads. This particular aspect of both transmissions ensures good, if not exactly class-leading fuel economy and predictable running costs. Number 4. Different load bed lengths. Although many owners of 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks use their vehicles as daily drivers, the new Tacomas are more suited as work trucks, given their decent towing capacity and load-carrying abilities. Therefore, the new Toyota Tacoma trucks come in 2 basic body configurations, a 2-door version with a 6-foot-long load bed and a 4-door double cab version that comes with either a 5-foot-long load bed or longer 6-foot-long load bed. So depending on your trade, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck range has you covered. If you need to transport large bulky items, the extra 12 inches of space in the load bed means you can carry more stuff like timber and the like, while the 5 feet of available space in the double cab versions might be more suited to carrying more easily managed items, such as tools and small construction equipment. Number 3. Decent fuel economy. Although midsize trucks are generally not famous for their good fuel economy, the EPA nevertheless estimates that the non-hybrid 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks with 2-wheel drive are good for 21 miles per gallon in city driving and up to 26 miles per gallon at highway speeds. By way of comparison, the EPA estimates that new non-hybrid Tacomas with 4-wheel drive are good for 20 miles per gallon in city driving and 23 miles per gallon at highway speeds, which represents a measurable, if not significant, improvement of the fuel economy of the V6 engine in the previous iteration of the Toyota Tacoma. It is worth noting, though, that the 2025 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road oriented model delivered fuel economy figures of 22 miles per gallon at highway speeds during real-world fuel consumption tests. Somewhat surprisingly, though, the EPA estimates that hybrid versions of the 2025 Toyota Tacoma model range will be good for 23 miles per gallon in city driving and 24 miles per gallon at highway speeds. Both estimates are higher than for the non-hybrid versions. Whether or not this fact represents a pro or con for the hybrid version of the new Toyota Tacoma depends on your willingness to pay a significant fuel economy penalty for the increased power and torque you get with a hybrid version. Number 2. Improved driver comfort and interior design. There is a whole lot to be said about the significant and very noticeable overall interior design and layout improvements in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks, as compared to their immediate predecessors. For example, while all trim levels and variants now feature much improved dashboards, in terms of both materials and construction, the limited trim level now boasts a standard heads-up display, as well as heated and cooled front seats. It is also worth noting that all trim levels now feature a raised seating position and more headroom, which means that drivers no longer feel they are seated on the floor, while shorter drivers now find it easier to see the front of the truck over the dashboard. In addition, The steering column in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks now has more adjustments than previous models, which goes a long way towards making the driving position more comfortable for many drivers, which greatly reduces driver fatigue and inattentiveness, which, in turn, has a huge positive impact on overall driver and vehicle occupant safety. Number 1. Great pricing and excellent value for money. Starting prices for the new non-hybrid Tacoma SR base trim level start at $31,590 and rise to $41,800 for the mid-range TRD off-road model. Starting prices for the range-topping hybrid TRD Pro trim level start at $63,735. So while the starting price for the range-topping Tacoma hybrid TRD Pro might seem steep, it helps to remember that Toyota's legendary reliability is augmented by Toyota's complimentary maintenance and service cover for 2 years or 25,000 miles. Complimentary maintenance cover is particularly useful in the case of hybrid models, which use hugely expensive components like electric motors, inverters, and power electronics. So while these components do not typically fail within 2 years, it helps to know that should these and other hybrid system components fail within 2 years, Toyota has you fully covered against such failures. Up to this point, we have covered some of the biggest pros of the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck model range. But let us now look at some of the major cons. So let us dive in, starting with number 3. No new or innovative technology. Although the TRD off-road oriented versions get a new high-resolution 12.3-inch all-digital instrument cluster, all other models are still fitted with the smaller 7.0-inch digital cluster. In terms of infotainment, most models in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck range feature a smallish 8.0-inch touchscreen, although a much larger 14.0-inch infotainment touchscreen is available as an option on the higher trim levels. But this screen comes as standard on the limited trim level. Nonetheless, standard infotainment technology on all models includes only wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, although a wireless charging pad is available as an option, as is a high-end JBL audio system that boasts a very handy detachable Bluetooth speaker. Number 2. Suspension upgrades limited to some models. One would have hoped that the recent and major refresh of the 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks would have included suspension upgrades across the range. But sadly, that is not the case. For example, the SR/SR5 extended cab and the TRD Pre-Runner all ride on old-style leaf springs in the rear, while all the other models and trim levels feature tuned coil springs that greatly enhance the ride quality of equipped models. In short, by not fitting coil springs to all the models in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck range, Toyota missed an excellent opportunity to improve the ride quality and road manners of the entire new Tacoma truck model range. Number 1. Limited towing capacity. While all the models in the 2025 Toyota Tacoma truck model range can tow more than 6,000 pounds, it is worth mentioning that the SR5 trim level can tow 6,500 pounds, while the TRD off-road oriented trim level can now tow a maximum weight of 6,300 pounds. By way of contrast, the hybrid versions are limited to towing maximum loads of 6,000 pounds. But it is worth noting that the maximum allowable tongue weight of the SR5 trim level is 650 pounds, while the maximum permissible tongue weight on all other trim levels and variants is 640 pounds. This tongue weight capacity is impressive and speaks to the load-absorbing capacity of the rear suspension, given that the non-hybrid versions can carry loads of up to 1,705 pounds, while the hybrid versions can carry loads of up to 1,709 pounds. However, since the 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks are more likely to be used as work trucks than for anything else, it must be stated that two of its biggest rivals, the regular Ford Ranger and the 2025 Chevy Colorado, can both tow significantly heavier loads than the new Toyota Tacoma. For example, the new Ford Ranger's non-Raptor versions are rated to tow up to 7,500 pounds, while the new Chevy Colorado is rated to tow loads of up to 7,700 pounds. As a small consolation prize for their limited towing capacity, though, most 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks are fitted with one or more properly rated factory-fitted recovery points. Having rated recovery points allows new Toyota Tacoma trucks to tow unconventional loads, such as stuck Ford Rangers and Chevy Colorados out of sand or mud traps without suffering damage to the suspension or frame rails, which typically serve as towing attachment points on most, if not all, of the new 2025 Toyota Tacoma trucks' closest rivals.